Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes ici à discuter les relations. Yeah, that's French, the language of love. Najua nimeangalia hapa funny, like what is this you're speaking? So yeah, the language of love. So we are here, guys. We're doing a Valentine special. This is for you young people dating. If you're in a relationship, if you've just gotten married recently, this is for you. I believe it will help you in one way or another with your relationships. So today with me here to facilitate our discussion for this time is our very own power couple, wazito wawili wa kanisa. We have our brother here, Steve. So Steve is a really good friend of mine, and he's a very, very key member of the church in general, and he's really passionate about growing young people. And welcome, Steve. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And on this side we have the lovely Shiko. Anaitwa Mrs. Mbugo siku hizi. Yeah, so she's going to be our very powerful female voice today, and she's going to give us advice that will help us move forward in culture, better relationships moving forward. So welcome guys. Welcome guys.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. So obviously in Valentines, and people are going to have different plans. Kuna tunaona they're having church outings, kuna watu attend dates one-on-one, kuna watu tunajoka tumeona attend some alone time. Yeah, so I was curious by then. I'm sure guys were curious. So like when you guys were dating, like did you guys used to spend Valentines together? Like was it a holiday for you guys, ama nyinyi ilikuwa tu another casual day?
So when we were dating, we actually came to realize when we discussed that would be the first ever Valentine either of us celebrated in the context of a relationship. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he had never celebrated it with anyone, I'd never celebrated it with anyone. And for the first one, I had my own expectations and ideas, and he had his plans, but things didn't work out. So we never really celebrated it, but we were together. It was a working day, and we came to Rongai together, but we never really did something special. For the second one, we were a bit more intentional in planning, so we actually attended a wedding. It was a Friday, so I took the day off. We attended a wedding, then we went out for dinner. And things didn't go very well at the restaurant, so they gave us a complimentary, so we went back again.
Marabili times two.
Yes, times two. And so this one will be the first one as a married
couple. Yeah. So do you guys plan to spend it with people ama mtajificha mwende?
That's a difficult question.
No, even as we are having our plans.
I think generally there's this notion of where ladies expect the man to plan, like me surprise and sweep me off my feet. I don't know what men expect from ladies, but I think the two of us have gotten to a point where we are like, okay, Valentine's come to discuss. Tunataka nini? I might plan a surprise, he might plan a surprise, but the general plan will probably be something we have discussed. He's very good with surprises. I am very good with wanting to know planning.
Yeah. Ama lakini najua siwezi tuambia plans zako, but what do you feel? Wewe ni mtu Valentine's ama for you every day is a date show love?
Well, see, I'm not pro Valentine. Sitakuwa na champion Valentine ati imefika, so this is, but I make note of the day and we do something special together. So yeah.
So in line with that, the fact that you guys have worked together while you were dating, to Kawana Hill Church, you guys were dating and you were working together, and you had all these things that you're getting towards, and even right now that you've crossed the border and you guys are married. So like, aside from the spiritual aspects that we get told by preachers, by our pastors every day, probably in church, whenever we're having such discussions, praying for the right partner, taking time to seek counsel, asking God to guide you. Like, apart from those spiritual things that we know, what basic things can you say, like in a simplistic manner, vitu zenye tu mlifanya, generally two things that you guys as people who knew what you wanted, the goal that you had in mind, things that you just did that aided you towards getting to that point successfully?
So there are many things that come to mind, but I'll just say a few that I can mention. There's one principle we have together, courtesy of Shiko. Number one is being that in friendship, when we are two autonomous individuals, so definitely tutakosana, tutafika mahali hatuelewani, but there is one thing Shiko emphasizes, that when you sleep mlale kama mmesort an issue, or at least kama haina an immediate solution, that at least we have cool off, we are back to good terms, good speaking terms. So for us, I think that was a critical thing, even in our dating, when we were dating, now when we are married. It's something that has helped us even solve big problems, and be able to break it down to chunks and be able to solve it. So friendship is very critical. And number two is having accountable people who always are there to talk to you. Our best couple, the wife was Shiko's best friend, and and the husband, hatukuwa tunajuana. I knew him from afar, but when we came to talk, when we came to discuss things, we find that we are very similar. Choleric, flag, I think, flag caller. So we are very similar in our way, the way we think, the way we even reason out. So they were friendly, but they were hard where they needed to be hard. Si ile tunasema tuko na hii plan, wako tu like we love the planet. They were there to make us reason out, to make us see this is the pros, these are the cons of what you were discussing, of what you desire. So having accountability partners. I think the last one that I'll mention is having the openness between the two of you. If you feel you can't tell your partner something, and there's already a question, because when you hide something from your partner, it builds up. So you'll say maybe a white lie now, or omit something, then the next time you won't feel that guilt. So pole it becomes a habit, it becomes part of you, and before you know it, when they open up, it becomes something big. So for us, we try as much as possible. Probably kuna vitu haujasema zote, like you haven't, your partner hasn't gotten to know you 100%, but there are those little things that you put in place now, so that when you get to marriage, it becomes an easier foundation for you to build on your relationship.
Wewe vijana mmesikia, so hakuna kudanganya wasichana wenyewe.
Can I add something?
Yeah, you can add.
There's something I really love, and it's not just about relationships, but just life in general, to be intentional. I think when it comes to dating, people are not intentional. Like if you ask people, mna date alafu, like what is the end game? What is the end goal? There are people who say, tunataka tu kuona itaenda wapi. That means you're not being intentional. That means if something happens, kukosana is very easy because there's nothing you are working towards. There's a book we did together. It was called Things I Wish I Knew Before I Got Married. And it really opened our minds up to discussing. There are things you'd think are obvious, but they're not so obvious until you start discussing. And because, like I said, we're autonomous. We've grown up in different family setups. Like our ideas about, probably my idea about what a husband should be is very different from what his idea is. And just to be able to sit down and ask each other, okay, what do you think? And you, what do you think? And agreeing, okay, this is how we'll do ours. is very important. So if you're not intentional, you'll not be working towards anything, you'll not be improving yourself, you'll not be improving together, because it's like wacha tuone mali itaenda, na ikikanika inaenda vibaya, wacha tuachane nayo. But the truth is, in life hakuna kitu smooth, so utahepa hii alafu.
So umesikia, so be intentional in your dating. Guys, make your intentions clear when you're dating someone. Simwache tu hivyo. And ladies, of course, you're not exempt from the treatment. So even ladies, like, be yourself. Just be yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with what you want. Be open. At least be yourself. Don't put up a facade in terms of who you are. When you get there, then it's a challenge. Because these two have successfully made it to pass that. So I'm sure that the things that they're telling us are very instrumental in ensuring that we have a capable and healthy relationship. And who doesn't want that? I want that. Najua niko single, but I want that. I definitely want that. And I believe everyone wants that. Yeah. Amen, definitely. Yeah. Nitapata mzungu wangu alafu I'll be here happy. But anyway, just kidding. So, like, say right now, like, what advice would you give to young people who are dating? Because as you've talked about your aspect, you're dating and being intentional where you're going, but pia kuna wale, there's a broad variety. Kuna wale that they wamefika point whereby they know that they're getting married, so they're like really close to getting to that point. But kuna wale, they're just starting off. So yes, they want to get married and they hope to get married, but nile uko onsets, anything can happen. You can get to know this person better, go like, and I don't think we're that compatible. So like people in that group, in that stage, what advice would you give them right now?
Very interesting. I would say begin with prayer before you get into this relationship, so that you don't get in and then you're like, maybe this is not what I thought. Because even for me and Steve, I wouldn't say that I knew him, but I knew him. And I used to think, hey, this guy is so quiet. Me, I'm so noisy to tambiananga nini. But he actually talks. But there are some basic things, fundamentals, that unaweza observe before you jump in there. Then we're like, hey, okay, maybe this is not what I wanted. But the most critical thing is be accountable to someone. For me, if you're in a relationship or you want to date and ni secret, like nobody knows, you don't want to confirm, hapo for me already there's a problem. And I know prayer na sound cliche, and he will tell you, he used to think, what is this thing, what wanasemanga ati pray before you pray and ask God to lead you. But that's how we ended up here, when we decided to pray. I also prayed because God knows us in ways that we don't know ourselves. Sahi kuna vitu tuko so alike that hatukuwa tunajua before, but now we're like, I'm so comfortable with this guy, because in some ways we are very similar, in others we're not. But be accountable, know what you want, and just have someone working with you. I think that's the biggest thing I'd say. Have people who are working with you, people who can direct you, people who can advise you, people who can encourage you. Because I think vitu zingine as you break, jua zikuwa zinafaa uwekwa pamoja to begin with, na zingine as you break, jua likosa mtu angewa encourage awambie, okay, this happens sometimes, this is how you correct it. So let someone be accountable over you guys, and have people that you're accountable to. Na venye amesema, our best couple, si ati walikuwa wakali, but si ati ilikuwa smooth all the time, like, oh, you guys want to get married, okay, congratulations. No, it was, okay, this is what you have to do. Walikuwa wanatucall, like, mmefanya nini? Ndio hivi tunapanga next week, this needs to be done, who is doing what, by when, we need an update. And they really kept us on our toes. And when we were going into the planning, is what we thought, wedding nini, tents, viti, keki, food. Then we sit down tunaambiwa kuna budget mbili, kuna hii ingine, and we're like, whoa. But they really played a big part making things smooth for us.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. There's a saying in Proverbs that says that a foolish man keeps quiet, but a person who seeks counsel is wise.
Yes.
So seek counsel, usitembee peke yako. Especially when it comes to dating, it's really essential for you to have someone helping you and guiding you towards the journey. Kuna kitu yote unataka kuongeza kwa point ama she speaks with the family?
Yeah, maybe I can just add on what alikuwa anasema kuhusu kunauo mwenye unataka. So not to spiritualize it too much, but as she said, I never got the logic of I want to marry, so go and pray, then come and let him. I never got that logic. And of course I'm not perfect, I agree, but when there's someone who spoke about it during a forum we were, and I decided to try it because I think this is the most critical step you make. Unaenda kupea mtu maisha yako na unaenda kukaa na mtu like there's no exit door, always batisha. So when you pray, God answers, and how God answers is not like there's no one format. Si ati utaomba kuonyeshe mwangaza ati utakaa hivi, there's a hologram there of the image. No, God speaks to us in different ways. He can speak to you through a verse, He can speak to you through a voice, anything. So praying it actually works. I can testify to that. And then obviously kuna the outward looks you have to see. They're I'd say they're important, yes, but they're not the paramount things in a relationship. So na majoma vijana siku hizi kila mtu anataka dem supu mwenye atatisha watu wengine.
Wakiona nasema
ukionekana na huo dem wanaume wanakuinamia wanasema, and it is good to have all these things, but remember this person you need utakanae maisha yako yote, and you'll need to be sitting down agreeing on issues of life. Ukumbuke mkikaa chini kudiscuss as for example you're acquiring an asset or you want to finance bills in your life, there is nowhere usupu inaingilia. Hapo ni akili zenu ziwaka pamoja. So those are critical things you need to think about. Beauty is there, and it is kila wanasemanga beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Kenye wewe unaona ni supu inaweza kwa si supu kwa kila mtu. Hata ule devu nasikianga akisema this is the hottest chick in the planet right now. Kuna mtu anakuambia huyu hayuko hana like utaipata the ultimate. So for me the heart, friendship, and all she has said, accountability, all these things are critical.
Yeah, there's someone who said I don't know how to say it, ER, when you're looking for better you can always, if you in your circle, the people that you know, you can always find someone who's cooler, someone who's prettier, someone who's smarter. Like you just need to look hard enough. So if you're waiting for you to be with the person who is smarter, the smartest version that you know, then unajidanganya. You'll always be in the rat race, chasing and chasing and chasing, and it'll be like chasing after the wind. So najua you guys are married, so sitaki kukalisha hapo sana, labda mnataka kwenda kupika chapo na mimi sijui. So
nataka kwenda kuosha nyumba
na mimi sijui. So I just want to do one final question and then we wrap this up. So probably we'll have views from both of you. Tunaweza anza na Shiks. Tuambie, like according to you, like in this period of time when people are dating, people are growing romantic relationships, what can you say are the hallmarks of the marks of a true love, like true love that you can say, yeah, this person is genuine, this person is for me, this person is someone that I can commit to for the rest of my life. Like what are the true marks of a successful and healthy relationship?
Wow, that's a bit of a difficult but easy question. I'd say true love, one is someone who makes you want to be better. And when I say makes you, I mean, I don't mean someone who pushes you, someone who forces you, but just someone who challenges you in a way that you want to keep improving and you want to keep getting better. and someone who you can see is improving and getting better. As in tuna learn, maybe ana learn, okay, huyu hapendi hivi, ama huyu anapenda communication hivi. Ama kama sisi, one of the challenges we had was timekeeping. Like, he's a serious timekeeper, and you know, things happen, yeah? But it had to be something najiambia, let me intentionally improve. So like, ni kitu nilipurpose to be, like alini challenge to be better. I'd say someone who doesn't, I know itakanikaina contract my first point, but someone who doesn't change who you are. Someone who doesn't, like, my life does not stop because now you're in my life. Until now everything is Steve. Nikiamka ni Steve, nikilala ni Steve. No, I can still hang out with my friends. I can still do my own things. We hang out together. And I don't feel like now my life has stopped. I still serve in ministry. I think that one is very key. My best friend used to say, wakidate, Saturdays was off kwa sababu the husband knew Saturday niko church at 2. If you want to see me on Saturday, come to church. And he used to come. So just respecting each other in that way. I think those are the hallmarks of a relationship that's headed in the right direction.
So in essence, what you're saying is like someone who, as an individual, you have grown yourself individually to the point whereby when you're with someone, they look at how you are as a person, the levels that you're working your life towards, and it challenges them to become better.
Yes.
And the person who is hivyo, like huo mse mwenye sana amegrow individually, haangali partner yake na like as you grow up ufike penye niko, like anaku accept and understand that pia uko na process yako as you grow up. So it's like a give and forth back and sort of thing. Interesting. Acha nitaandika notes sana. So Steve.
For me, true mark of love is friendship. When two people are said to be in love, friendship is critical. They have to be able to understand each other. And I'll give a short example. When we were dating, we had those issues like time, communication, like the normal issues people have and many more. But there's a step we took towards trying to improve ourselves. And I remember there's a time to soma our personalities, the strengths and the weaknesses. So when we were doing that, hatukuwa tunafanya ati unaona strength yangu ni, unaona wewe weakness yako ni, then to like look down on someone. You're doing that ndio uweze kuimprove on your weaknesses. And you're doing that to be able to be helped. Unasema, these are my weaknesses. I'd like to improve on this. And as a friend, ana feel like ako in your shoe. Anasema, I understand this is your weakness, so these are the things you can do to improve. And that has helped us a lot. Mimi nitasema ndio nilikuwa na issue ya communication in terms of I'd assume a lot. But sahi nimekuwa the bearer of the flag, assumption. So through such things, and it builds up, utapata the things you do even out of love. Hizo vitu nataka kumbaia maua, nataka kumbaia chocolate, hizi za Valentine nataka kufanya, haitakuwa obligation. It is because you really want to, because of the person you are with. So that is a true hallmark for me.
Wow, very, very powerful. There's a preacher who says that dating is like you're dating with purpose, so it has to be purposeful. So I'm sure everyone wants to have a happy relationship. Like ultimately, hata tunataka kucheza bado, but the essence ni mtu anataka to have someone that they feel makes them happy and makes them feel satisfied and fulfilled. So for you to be able to get there, I believe based on what they've said, based on things that you've probably learned already, because obviously this is not the first conversation or the first thing that you're hearing about relationships and dating. Of course, you've definitely heard a lot. So in this line of relationships, building your relationships, ensuring that you have healthy relationships, because after all, you'll be with for a very long period in your life. So it's really essential. It's really essential for you to have the right to take the right steps to be able to ensure that it's a fruitful relationship that will lead you in the right direction. And for you to be able to do that, then you have to have a mind shift, you have to have a paradigm shift in terms of how you're thinking. And Paul in the book of Romans chapter 12 verse 1 anatuambia, do not conform to the pattern of this world. Meaning that the people date, like we see relationship goals everywhere, IG nini, nasemi ni mbabede, hata nyinyi mkipiga picha mweke relationship goals, nitaritag tu na niseme
Tuko na no social media followers.
But the essence is that you have to change your mind. Because if you date like everybody else, then you'll have relationships that are the same level as everybody else's. So if you want a relationship that's on a different level, then you have to do things on a different level. So you have to change how you think, you have to change your need. And verse 2 goes to say that this is your true and spiritual act of worship. So the Greek word that was used there to mean spiritual and proper act of worship was the word logikos, which means logic. So in essence, if you translate it directly, it means this is your logical act of worship. Meaning it is the most sensible thing to do for you to accept that I don't want to have an average relationship like the people here on this world are having. So for you to want to have a healthy relationship, a healthy life, a life that is equal to level lingine, then you have to accept that you have to have someone help you inside you to build it to be a better person, to build your relationships to be much healthier. And only one person can do that, and that is God, our Heavenly Father. No wonder they are prospering you, they're pushing you towards seeking spiritual guidance, seeking counsel from God, enabling Him to minister to and just to speak into your life in regards to what you need to have for you to have healthy relationships. Yeah, so anything to say before tumalizie?
Yeah, I wanted to say, when I was in high school and people would be like, pray about your partner, Mungu atakupea. Sijui kulikuwanga na hii notion ya, yani God ni kama atakuletea mse, then you'll be like, huyu ndo ulinichagulia. Sijui mbona tulikuwa tunaona nika God hatakupea mtu who is beautiful in your eyes. As in mtu mnaingiana naye tulikuwa tu tunafikirianga like God will give you someone and you'll be like because I think it's because of the people used to come and preach and share. But I want to say that God gives you His best for you.
Amen.
Sometimes it's that what you're looking at as best for you is not what God is looking at as best for you. But when you get God's best for you, hata wewe utajua God anajuanga better than wewe. And that is why really seeking God for a life partner is so critical.
So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for this session. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Deliverance Church Ongatro Ongai, and we are young people. Miniko single. So we are young people. We're doing this step by step, and it's a journey. And we're just here to encourage one another to keep the fire burning. So as you go for Valentines, please, please, I'm free. You can look for me. But as you go for Valentines, have a nice time. Have a nice time and enjoy yourself and have a fruitful year ahead.
Amen.
So be blessed, guys.
Be blessed.